You turn on the news, and it looks like we are right on the edge of a massive war in the Persian Gulf. Explosions, warships, it feels like it's all about to kick off. But what if I told you this is all a smokescreen? What if the real target isn't who you think it is, and the real battlefield, well, it might not even be on this planet? To really get what's going on, we have to pull back the layers.
Okay, so let's start with what everybody sees, right? The immediate crisis. A region that looks like it's about to explode.
To really understand the stakes, you have to start with this one simple and, honestly, pretty terrifying question. Because the answer isn't some complex financial trick. No, it's all about geography.
20 million. Just burn that number into your brain. That's how many barrels of oil squeeze through one tiny strategic point every single day. We're not talking about an important highway here. This is the jugular vein of the entire world economy.
And all of it, every last drop, flows through this one bottleneck, the Strait of Hormuz. For decades, the whole global system has been held hostage by this one critical point of failure, and it looks like the world has finally decided it's time to do something about it.
So on the surface, the official story seems pretty straightforward. There's this huge military operation codenamed Epic Fury. I mean, we're talking the largest naval deployment we've seen in decades. You've got the US, France, the UK, Turkey, all there with one stated goal: to neutralize Iran by going after Karg Island, which is where almost all of its oil comes from.
But this is where the story you think you know takes a massive turn. Because this incredible show of force, it's not really about Iran. It's about a much, much bigger player.
I mean, you just have to ask yourself, right? Does a force of this size, we're talking aircraft carriers, the whole might of a massive coalition, does that really make sense for just one country? Or is this whole crisis being used as the perfect cover to go after a much bigger fish?
Because the real strategic target here is China. The end goal? To basically choke the life out of America's main economic competitor. If you look at this chart, you can see that a huge chunk of China's oil, about 17%, comes from places like Iran and Venezuela. So by cutting off Iran's oil, the US can land a devastating blow right to the heart of the Chinese industrial engine.
So you're probably wondering, how is China even getting this oil with all the sanctions? Well, they were using this incredibly clever and totally illegal system called the Ghost Fleet. It's this massive, shadowy network of ships. They change their names, they turn off their location trackers, they do ship-to-ship transfers in the middle of the ocean. It's like something out of a spy movie. And get this, it generated an incredible $43 billion for Iran just this year. Dismantling this network, that's what Operation Epic Fury is really all about.
But that brings up a really important question, right? How can a smaller country, a smaller power, even hope to stand up to a global empire? Well, the answer is in this totally new way of thinking about warfare that's, well, it's changing everything.
It's called asymmetric warfare, and the whole idea is fascinating. It's built on a paradox, that an empire's greatest strengths, its huge size, its complicated systems, its overwhelming power, those things actually contain the seeds of its own destruction. The job of the little guy, the outsider, isn't to create a weakness, it's just to find the ones that are already there and poke them.
Let me break it down. Think about an empire's huge population, its mass. Over time, that can lead to social exhaustion, to citizens who just feel disconnected. What about its incredible organization? Well, that creates massive bureaucracies and infighting between elites, which leads to paralysis. And its depth, its ability to take a punch, well, that can turn into pure arrogance, making it impossible for the empire to actually learn from its mistakes. It's like a slow decay from the inside out.
Now, while that giant is slowly decaying, the outsider is developing the complete opposite traits. Not size, but energy. That raw will to win because you're literally fighting for your survival. Not bureaucracy, but openness. When you don't have a lot of money or resources, you are forced to get creative. And not arrogance, but cohesion, where everyone comes together and that shared struggle makes you stronger in a way the empire just can't understand anymore.
And here is where this theory gets brutally real. Look at this number, $3 million. That is the cost of one single American Tomahawk missile. An absolute marvel of technology, for sure.
Now look at this number, $20,000. That's the cost of the Iranian Shahed drone that the $3 million missile is being fired at. You see the trap? The empire is forced to spend millions to destroy a threat that costs thousands. It's bleeding itself dry, economically. And these symptoms of a fragile giant, these little cracks in the armor, they're everywhere if you just know where to look. Things like a logistics chain so brittle that losing just 2 refueling planes can ground over 100 fighter jets. Or something almost comical, like an accidental fire in the laundry room of a brand new, cutting-edge aircraft carrier. It's a symbol of losing mastery over your own complex systems. Or even something as simple as data, 105,000 damage claims filed in Israel that fly in the face of the official story of victory.
So, the big global powers see these vulnerabilities. They see the constant threat at Hormuz, and they are done waiting around. They've kicked off a frantic race to literally build their way out of this trap, with massive projects designed to make the old map totally obsolete.
And we are not just talking about building a few new ports or roads here. The ambition is so much bigger. It is, and I quote, the reshaping of a planet.
And right now you have 2 competing visions for how to do it. On one side, you have Saudi Arabia's absolute moonshot, the King Salman Canal, an $80 billion, 950-kilometer-long project to literally carve a new river through the desert. Then, on the other side, you have Egypt's much more practical, crisis-ready plan, the Sinai Land Bridge, which is basically a system of roads and railways designed to be up and running by 2025 for immediate security.
But while the map on Earth is being completely redrawn, the ultimate battle, the final endgame, is shifting to a new frontier. Because the best way to deal with the threat on the ground is to achieve total dominance from above.
Yeah, this quote from astronaut Jared Isaacman just hits the nail on the head. The space race today isn't about planting a flag for bragging rights. It is a dead serious race for the ultimate strategic high ground. And the clock is ticking.
So what is the American trump card in this new game? It's a concept called the Golden Dome, and it sounds like something out of science fiction. Imagine a shield of satellites that can spot the heat from any missile launch anywhere on the planet, calculate where it's going in a split second, and then guide an interceptor to take it out. It's a system designed to make the entire threat of Iranian missiles just disappear.
And this isn't some distant dream. There is a clear step-by-step strategy. Right now, you've got the U.S. Space Force defending American interests in orbit. In the near future, the Artemis program is all about dominating the space between the Earth and the Moon. And then, the next generation, nuclear propulsion that could create an interplanetary railway, completely changing the game for logistics and guaranteeing total control.
So, when you see us carving new paths through the desert and building invisible shields in orbit, you have to ask the big question. Is this narrow strip of water, the Strait of Hormuz, which has defined global politics for generations, is it about to become a relic of the past? A new chapter in the story of global power is being written, right now, right in front of us.